A very good morning and welcome all of you to the daily news analysis for 14th of January 2025. So guys, in today's news analysis, we are going to see these interesting topics. Here, this topic that is of Election Commission of India. Can we choose Election Commission of Chief Election Commissioner from outside the existing members? This is going to be analytical topic for the day. Then Z-More Tunnel, right? Z-More Tunnel has been renamed as Sonamarg Tunnel and it is to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India. How is it going to impact the India's preparedness, defense preparedness vis-a-vis China? We are going to see this. Then magnitude 6.9 earthquake rattles southwestern Japan. What plates are there which lead to Pacific Ring of Fire being formed around Japan and other Southeast Asian countries? Pacific Ring of Fire, it is called so because of existence of so many tsunamis and active volcanoes as well as these earthquakes around this Pacific Ring of Fire. Everybody who has gone through the geography must be knowing this. Now, 6-year-old question from the Supreme Court. As we are witnessing the incident of rat hole mining, the Supreme Court had asked this question from the government of the northeastern states and the central government also as to how this rat hole mining is continuing in the fragile region of northeastern India. This is going to be another topic. Then economy, net direct tax collection slowdown. Here, if tax collections are going down, I ask you a question from the UPSC perspective only. Can we say that this is also a sign of slowdown in the economy? We have been witnessing, we have been talking about index of industrial production, we have been talking about GST collection slowdown, etc. Right now, net direct tax collection is slowing down as compared to December. Can we say that again this is a phenomena which is telling us that slowdown is in the offing in the Indian economy? Now, these are the topics, and to get the PDF of this news analysis and other interesting questions, strategy for UPSC preparation, you can subscribe to our Telegram channel. This is the channel exclusively made for my purpose by the PW team. I'll keep you posted about the important happenings, how you are supposed to study, how you are supposed to strategize your preparation, 5 months strategy for prelims, strategy for 2026, complete strategy for 2026 or 2027, how to make notes out of the newspaper. So subscribe to this Telegram channel in order to stay posted about these things. Now get updates about these things. Now here, first thing first, rat hole mining incident, right? Workers are being rescued from this rat hole. What is the rat hole mining? As the name tells you, like the rats dig out their holes, they make their tunnels. Likewise, this rat hole mining is practiced in a manner that these caves are dug up so as to enable the people to enter and mine coal out of it, mine other minerals out of it. But because of the very nature, what happens is sometimes these rat hole mines, they cave in, leading to people inside getting trapped and succumbing to death ultimately. So this kind of a rat hole mining in the ecologically fragile area of northeastern states, northeastern India, Supreme Court had asked a question as to how can you allow rat hole mining if the norms are there, why is it still continuing? Okay, without the connivance, without the corruption, or without the officials, bureaucrats or ministers being complicit in it, how can this be allowed to happen? How is it happening? Now, every time this incident happens, the problem with democracy is that we wake up to the incident and then we sleep over it. Once the incident is over, once the muck settles, we are numb to these kind of things. So this problem is the problem that there are no regulatory agencies, even though the government had taken some steps after the incident in Meghalaya in 2015, Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act. But the problem with that act is that act dealt more with the revenues. Okay, this district mining federation, etc., was created, but it did not pay much attention to the incidents of mines caving in. Okay, it paid attention to the illegal mining. Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 2015. It took care of the revenue side or illegal mining side, but it did not take care of the incidents around rat hole mining and other types of incidents surrounding caving in of mines. So that was the problem. 2015 Meghalaya, similar kind of incident had happened. Okay, now National Green Tribunal banned the practice in 2014 and retained the ban in 2015 in Meghalaya, citing safety concerns and environmental degradation. So northeastern India, it is a part of Eastern Ghats. Despite that, this kind of a mining activity is proliferating, is going on rampantly. That is why the Supreme Court had said that it is not possible without the connivance of officials. Now, moving further, Supreme Court's view. Number one, illegal and unscientific mining neither can be held to be in the interest of the people of the area, nor the people working in the mines, or nor in the interest of environment. Second, mining policy of the state had to be consistent with Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act of 1957. So guys, this Act of 1957, it had given monopoly of coal mining to Coal India Limited only. But now this act was, as I said, in 2015, this act was replaced by 1957 Act was replaced by the Act of 2015. Thank you. Okay, so this is there. Now, just let me get my cup of tea and water bottle. Now, the court had also upheld an NGT direction to Meghalaya to deposit rupees 100 crores paid out of the Meghalaya Environment Protection and Restoration Fund to the Central Pollution Control Board for the restoration of the environment. So, putting the entire blame of the 2015 on the Meghalaya state government, they had said ki this responsibility is of Meghalaya to deposit 100 crore rupees to Central Pollution Control Board. Okay, so we don't have any effective I would say pollution control board or any regulatory body to take care of such frequent or recurrent incidents. Now we are witnessing this. We will meet next year. Again, similar kind of incident would have happened. Now, what is rat hole mining? A primitive and old era practice, illegal coal mining technique which involves creation of narrow tunnels called rat holes. Similar to rat holes, this is dug up. Now, workers manually extract coal using basic tools like pickaxes and shovels, right? Commonly practiced in India's northeastern states, particularly in Meghalaya. Now, why this? What are the causes of it? Why still this is continuing? Sometimes we sit in the UPSC mock interview boards these days at PW only IAS. Okay, so we ask these type of questions. What are the causes? Because until and unless we know the precise cause of the incident or any wrong phenomena or right phenomena, we would not be able to counter that. We would not be able to tackle that. Causes of rat hole mining: economic factors, poverty and lack of alternative livelihood opportunities force the unemployed laborers into risking their lives. Such is the poverty, such is the unemployment or lack of opportunities in the northeastern India that people are forced into doing this, right? Now, so you can quickly take note of these factors also. Just a minute, guys. Okay, so if anybody is having any doubt, please feel free to ask your doubts, any doubt whatsoever with regard to your current affairs for now. Okay, so coming back, now these things are there. Quick cash generated from the coal extraction incentivizes this hazardous practice. Illegal practice, illegal coal mines are there. They are going on rampantly without any intervention by the bureaucrats, by the officials, as the Supreme Court had rightly pointed out 6 years ago. Land ownership issues. Ambiguous land ownership titles create regulatory loopholes. What is this point saying? That because of lack of proper land records, anybody claims a particular mine area to be their own. Okay, if I go there, I encroach upon the government land or any idle piece of land and I claim that this is mine, so that would be considered to be mine until and unless someone steps in. All I need to do is to bribe the village development officer, block development officer, or any forest ministry official. So that is the problem that this is going on, right? So coal demand, the constant, if we talk about the legal side of it, because of the high demand of coal, be it National Thermal Power Corporation or Coal India Limited, they have no option but to extract coal to fuel their existing thermal based power plants, okay, coal based power plants. Now middlemen and illegal traders perpetuate the cycle. Policy gaps, weak enforcement of regulations. Guys, it is not that the regulations are not there. Regulations are very much there in place, but they are not being implemented. Now a question comes from Ganesh, can we make notes with the lecture or not? See guys, if you are watching some video, be it your online class at PW or anywhere else, it is essential to develop the habit of reading notes, right, side by side your class. Why? Because if you are making notes side by side, you will develop the habit of saving time in a way. Okay, gradually initially you will grapple with it, but gradually you will learn the habit of storing in your temporary memory and quickly jotting it down. Otherwise you would end up wasting a lot of time. You can pause the video wherever required, you can watch the recorded video, or you can watch it at 1.25x, whatever suits you as per your convenience, but try to make notes alongside the lecture in a time bound manner. Emphasis added, in a time bound manner. Okay, now gradually you will develop this habit. Another important news from the international arena, even though, but from geography again. Now a strong earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 6.9 on the Richter scale has hit the southwestern Japan. So Japan lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire. What is the shadow line that you see? This is Pacific Ring of Fire. Why is it called as Ring of Fire? Because of frequent occurrence of volcanoes, because of high number of active volcanoes in this area. Java, Sumatra Island, starting from this area, Sunda Trench, towards the Japan, Peru-Chile Trench. Okay, now what are the tectonic plates? I am sure many of you would be aware of tectonic plates theory. The convergence of plates, the collision of plates leads to frequent vibration kind of a thing, leading to earthquake on the surface of the earth, right? Pacific Ring of Fire, everybody is aware. Now, because of the convergence of these plates in a haphazard manner, wherever there are gaps, there are mountains. Because of the eruption of lava in the past, mountains have come up. These mountains have within themselves the outlet of the energy from the earth because of the tectonic theory. That energy is coming out in the form of lava, in the form of occurrence of volcanoes. Pacific Ring of Fire. When these plates collide, it leads to earthquake in Japan and other neighboring countries. And because of that earthquake, because of that tectonic activity, water swings into motion. Water is unsettled, you can say. Because of the unsettling of water, tsunami occurs, right? So three things happening all at once. That is why the Japan has warned its population to be careful about tsunami. The earthquake, initial earthquake, might lead to tsunami. So that's why the people in the coastal areas have been warned not to go out, right? So Pacific Ring of Fire, what all countries are there? It ranges from which part to which part? Please answer in the comment section. And which are the plates here? Pacific Plate, Eurasian Plate, and Indo-Australian plates. Okay, Japan is situated along the most active earthquake tectonic belt globally, featuring the Pacific, Eurasian, and Indo-Australian plates. Yeah, keywords are also fine if you are able to, while making notes, if you are able to correlate on the basis of the keywords that you are noting down, that is also a good strategy. That is in fact one step ahead of what I just said, that you can make notes in a sentence form. Okay, but if you are able to remember things on the basis of the keywords, because I am trying to explain to the best of my capacity, so it's going to be another good thing, right? It's going to be even better than making the sentence based format notes. Now, continuous meshing and colliding of these plates, results in frequent earthquakes, volcanic eruptions and tsunamis. All right. It is a Japanese term. What is a tsunami? Japanese term means harbor wave. What is the meaning of term tsunami? Harbor wave. So quickly write down T or tsunami is equal to harbor wave is a series of large ocean waves caused by underwater earthquake or volcanic eruption. If there is underwater earthquake, water initially goes down, but when there is another tremor, then same water comes out and it comes out with a lot of energy, leading to disruption, leading to damage on the coast, in the coastal areas. Tsunami formation process, earthquake. Now this is the static portion of it. Somebody rightly said in the yesterday's DNA that we have to focus on the news articles. So static portion would still be there for your revision. Okay, correlation as to how to. Now this Japan earthquake has become the trigger factor for UPSC to. It will become a trigger factor. Earthquake in Japan will become a trigger factor for UPSC to ask a question around Pacific Ring of Fire. Number 1, to ask a question around tsunamis. Okay. Number 2. Number 3, to ask a question around disaster preparedness as to what are these countries in the Indian Ocean region, Pacific Ring of Fire, IOR, ARC, what is this grouping of countries doing with regard to defense preparedness? Have we installed some radars, some sonars or something underneath the sea in order for the device to detect and act as early warning signal for upcoming tsunami or for upcoming tremor, earthquake, right? So what are these Indian Ocean region, Pacific Ring countries doing? How are they collaborating? What is the name of the institution? That is why I always make sure that we cover the institutions in the background. Today, to keep the DNA, to wind up the DNA in a time-bound manner, we are quickly winding it up. But I am giving you the clue as to how the question could be asked. Okay, though the damage done by this Japan's earthquake is not as much as of now, thankfully, right? Had the damage been more, then the probability of the question being asked around the defense preparedness would have been obvious, would have been very high, right? Yes. Anshu Singh, you have answered it. Pacific Ring of Fire, Indonesia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, then Philippines, Japan, right? Okay, so these are the countries. Now read them, characteristics of tsunami waves, etc. You can cover them. Pacific Ring of Fire, this is a horseshoe shaped zone. Horseshoe, as you can see, right? So this is there. Now Eurasian plate, convergence, collision, Eurasian plate, North American plate, then Philippines sea plate. A very small plate though, but this is colliding into the Japanese plate or North American plate, leading to these tremors or frequent occurrence of earthquakes in this region. Now coming to Z mode, Z turn. In English, this is called as turn. Okay, why Z turn? Let us first understand Z turn. See this, roughly a Z-shaped, Z-shaped tunnel. The road earlier was there. Okay, now this road is being replaced by red. You can see this red line. This is the tunnel that has been made by carving it out of the Himalayan region, Himalayas, right? That stretch of mountains here. Now this overall Z mode tunnel, it is a 6.5 kilometer tunnel that will reduce the distance for the people. And now the problem was, earlier the problem was this Z road, kind of a road was not an all-weather road. Now this tunnel would be an all-weather tunnel, thereby leading to convenience for the people of this region, right? Their lives were affected earlier because of the snow covered road for a better part of the year. Now this tunnel, since it is an all weather tunnel, the convenience for the people of the region, right? This will connect up till Srinagar. You can see here Ladakh region till Srinagar, this will be connected. Now this Z mode tunnel feeds into the larger project which is known as You can see here Zozila tunnel. Here we are talking about Z tunnel, Zmore tunnel. Now this is a part of the larger project which is known as Zozila road project. Got it? So that is why they are saying that this is just one achievement. Overall, this project is of huge significance insofar as India's defense preparedness is concerned vis-a-vis China and Pakistan, right? Mainly China. Although the border road organization was awarded the construction project, they gave the project the contract to Tunnelway Limited. Now the Tunnelway Limited, later on the project was taken over by National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited. BRO initially was given the project. If the question is asked, the BRO was they gave the contract to a private company, Tunnelway Limited, but then later on it was rightly taken over by National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited. So you should be aware of these small things. Now, since the Z road has been replaced by this tunnel, so the rightful name should be something else. Z mode was the name of the erstwhile road, which has been replaced by this tunnel. So that is why Prime Minister of India rightfully called it to be renamed as Sonamarg Road, right? Sonamarg Health Resort with Kangan Town. As you can see, Kangan Town over here. This is the Kangan Town. This will connect it to Sonamarg till here, right? Sonamarg is the next dot. Kangan is the starting point if we start from left to right. And again, I am reiterating, this is the part of the larger Zozila Pass project, Zozila Road project, right? This Zozila tunnel is going to be 14.15 kilometers once completed. Now, coming to the facts again, strategic and economic significance. This Sonamarg tunnel is part of the Zozila tunnel project that aims to provide all-weather connectivity from Srinagar to Ladakh. Again, reiterating, don't forget about it, but this seems to be strategically important project of India. That is why this was just one stretch of it. Okay, Kangan to Sonamarg, one stretch of the overall Srinagar Ladakh highway project of Government of India. Got it? Now, distance, altitude, everything is mentioned over here, right? 1000 vehicles per hour it can handle. Now, cost 2700 crore rupees, all these things are not that important. Coming to the other news article, Odisha signs MOU to join other states as a part of Atal Bihari Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana fold. Odisha was initially, it is the one of the very last states to join the Jan Arogya Yojana because of the regional schemes. Because of its own scheme, Biju scheme that they were continuing, Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana. Okay, now replaced by Gopa Bandhu Jan Arogya Yojana. The name was changed for the state scheme. Okay, now they have now joined the Jan Arogya Yojana scheme, and they have come on board the center's health insurance scheme. This Jan Arogya Yojana scheme provides the insurance benefit of 5 lakh rupees to the family, to every family. BPL family and other families, right? Now, centrally sponsored scheme, Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana scheme. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. What do we mean by centrally sponsored scheme? Centrally sponsored scheme, just a minute. Centrally sponsored scheme means a scheme which is funded by the central government primarily. Okay, 75 or 70-60 or 60-40, 70-30 or 60-40 can be the ratio. Umbrella scheme of two major health initiatives, namely health and wellness centers. Under the National Health Policy of India 2017, some additional details I am giving you. Government aims to, spend 2.5% of India's GDP on the health, and under this 1,50,000 wellness centers were supposed to be created. Wellness centers are going to be your primary health centers, which have been rechristened or redeveloped as primary health centers, have been redeveloped as wellness centers. What is the difference between health center, just a health center, and health and wellness center? Wellness centers will take care of preventive and curative both. Okay. Until now, we as a country, insofar as health is concerned, We were focusing only on the curative care. Okay, now with the new national health policy, which was unveiled in 2017, Government of India aimed to not only just cure the existing ailments but prevent them. Promotive healthcare. How can we promote health? Through yoga and other practices, right? So these were these promotive healthcare features were made an essential part of the national health policy. Objectives: ensuring comprehensive coverage for catastrophic illness. Coming back to Jan Arogya Yojana, comprehensive coverage for catastrophic illness. Okay, now tell me, what is the ratio, what is the proportion of expenditure of this Jan Arogya Yojana which is being which is being shared by the central government? How much is central government contributing to this Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana? These questions will be answered by me or by some of my teammates on the Telegram channel or in the comment section of this YouTube stream only. Many of you are not answering the questions. That is not a good idea. That again demotivates me from asking the questions. The more you answer, the more will be the questions. This is how we would proceed in this lecture. Okay, now health and wellness centers, 1.5 lakh existing sub centers, primary health centers, etc., will be converted into wellness centers. I told you the meaning of wellness centers also. A bit of background about Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Now, 5 lakh rupees per family per year. 5 lakh rupees is the combined limit per family. Even if one family member or all the family members combined together, maximum insurance coverage is 5 lakh per family, not per member. Be very careful when you read the questions in the prelims that you are supposed to choose this option. If the choice is between the option per family or per member, per family is the option here. Eligibility criteria: it is an entitlement based scheme with the entitlement decided based upon deprivation criteria. 7 points deprivation criteria. If a family is deprived of let's say a certain land threshold, if they do not have any two-wheeler, if their income level is below, if they do not have any male member in the family, if the female run house is there. So this kind of a deprivation, any family who is deprived of any of the 3 or 4 criteria out of the deprivation criteria as per the socio-economic caste census, that was the report was revealed, not revealed properly, but this this was revealed in 2015. Okay, socio-economic caste census. It enunciated a 7 points based, 7 deprivations based criteria to identify the poor people for various government schemes. Before that, we were going by the yellow ration card, green ration card, income ceiling. That was the criteria. But it was for the first time that socio-economic criteria was devised to identify the poor people. If a family is SC ST, it would inadvertently, automatically, that SC ST family would be included in it. Got it? Okay, pre-existing conditions. Will pre-existing conditions be covered? Yes, from day 1 of the policy, Jan Arogya Yojana, PM Jan Arogya Yojana, this will be covered. Pre-existing diseases would also be covered under Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Cashless benefit. That means, what do we mean by cashless? If somebody gets admitted to the hospital, do they have to pay initially for the charges and later on they would be reimbursed, or would they get the cashless treatment? They don't have to spend any penny out of any single rupee out of their pocket. Immediately the treatment would be, in the first stage itself, the treatment would be cashless. Got it? So benefits are there. Now coming to Maha Kumbh begins, 15 million pilgrims gather for Shahi Snan. First of all, why this Maha Kumbh is happening at the city of, in the city of Prayagraj, Allahabad earlier? Why? Quickly answer this question. Very easy question I'm asking. Because Allahabad is a confluence of 3 rivers. What 3 rivers? Easy question, but just to wake you up out of your slumber. Many of you tend to sleep in the morning. Let's try to cover this thing. Cover the newspaper right in the morning itself. I would suggest for the newcomers, for the ones who are just beginning with their preparation. Why? Because you tend to develop the habit, you get a positive energy that okay, one task for the day which was supposed to be completed the same day has been completed. Okay, once you would become veterans, you would be in the flow of things, then you can postpone your watching the DNA or reading the newspaper yourself to a later time in the day. This helps you in more than one ways, because you are getting to see uh, what is happening in the current affairs. That gives you the positive energy to read more on that topic in the current affairs through your reference books, static books. Once you will be the flow of things, once you get hold of the things, then you can postpone it, right? So nobody has answered the question why. Okay, now Maha Kumbh Mela, let me first tell you, see the confluence, you can see dark green color, you can see light green. The three rivers are Saraswati, mythical Saraswati. It is said that Saraswati river is somewhere floating below, somewhere flowing below the Ganga river and Yamuna river, okay, but it is not visible. But the confluence of Ganga and Yamuna is clearly visible, maybe because of the difference in the color, difference in the salinity, or difference in the dirtiness of the river, right? Whatever it is. Now, this is the point where the brown water of the Ganga meets the green water of the Yamuna, along with the mythical Saraswati, which remains unseen but is believed to run underground. Okay, so this is a mythical thing that okay, Saraswati is still flowing, but as per the studies, Saraswati river has perished, right? So those things we are not going into, because we are talking about matter of religion. Maha Kumbh Mela, the historical significance, see, it has references in the Mauryan and Gupta period. Why it is called Maha Kumbh? Because it is happening after 144 years. Kumbh happens every 12 years, right? Ardh Kumbh happens 6 years. Historical background, the founding myth of the Kumbh Mela points to the Puranas. It is widely believed that Lord Vishnu, disguised as enchantress Mohini, whisked the Kumbh out of the grasp of covetous demons who had tried to claim it. Now, 4th century BCE texts to 6th century BCE texts have reference to it. Okay, it was supported by the royal dynasties such as Cholas, okay, Vijayanagar Empire, okay, Delhi Sultanate. Delhi Sultanate, yes. Mughals, yes. Okay, Delhi Sultanate also supported it. Mughals also supported it, including Emperor Akbar. Right. Now, the origin of Maha Kumbh Mela was transcribed by the 8th century philosopher Adi Shankaracharya. Please take a note of all these things. Documented by British administrators like James Prinsep. Who documented about Maha Kumbh? James Prinsep in the 19th century. These details are very, very important. So get hold of these details. Later on, you would repent. That's such an easy thing if they might. Why is it important? We say that India is a secular country, UPSC is a secular exam. Do we need to read these details? Yes. Anything that affects such a large population is of concern to us, right? The administrators in the making. So James Prinsep is the name of the British administrator who documented about Maha Kumbh. Recognized by UNESCO, yes, it has got the recognition by UNESCO also in year 2017 as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Intangible cultural heritage. Okay, types of Kumbh Mela, Maha Kumbh, 144 years. What color should I use? Okay, Ardh Kumbh, 6 years. Then Puran Kumbh Mela, 12 years. Purna Kumbh Mela, sorry. Okay, then Magh Mela, annually, Prayagraj. What are the cities? Ardh Kumbh, Prayagraj, Haridwar. Maha Kumbh, only Prayagraj. That is why my first question to you about this clipping was, why Prayagraj is chosen for this thing? Confluence of three rivers, one river mythical, Saraswati. Okay, now read more about Saraswati river when you are covering geography. When did it perish? When did it disappear? What were the tributaries? Okay, the all those points. Now read more about Ganga also, Yamuna also, because of this Maha Kumbh thing. Moving to the other news clippings. The analytical topic for the day, Polity and Governance, GS Mains Paper 2. Election Commission of India, Chief Election Commissioner is set to retire on 18th of February. before the bill, this new bill, Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners appointment, conditions of office and term of office act, conditions of service and term of office act 2023, before this act was brought about, okay, once the election commissioner, chief election commissioner retires, his junior election commissioner, that is the senior most election commissioner in the waiting, would become the chief election commissioner. That was the practice. But this has now been changed after the coming on the scene of this act, after the advent of this act, after the passage of this act in 2023. Just a minute. Okay, 2023, this act says that once the chief election commissioner retires, Government of India, through the proper process, can appoint somebody else apart from the two election commissioners. Government of India can appoint somebody else as the election commissioner from the outside. Election Commission of India is a 3-member body. Some outsider can also now be considered after 2023 Act. Earlier this was not possible, right? Now this has been made possible. How would this be done? How can this be done? What would be the procedure to be followed? A search committee will be constituted. Okay, search committee will recommend a list of 5 names to the selection committee headed by the Prime Minister of India. Okay, Prime Minister of India. Search committee will be headed by Minister of Law and Justice, to be aided by 2 secretary level officers to the Government of India. Secretary 1, Secretary 2, they will create a list of 5 names. Now this selection committee comprises Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition and other members. Okay, so Section 5 and Section 6 of the newly passed, newly enacted this 2023 Election Commission Act, Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners appointment, conditions of office, conditions of service and terms of office Act 2023. Section 5 and 6 we are going to cover. Okay, Section 6 and 7 also. 7th also, see, Ministry of Law will set up a search committee chaired by Law Minister to prepare a panel of 5 names for the selection committee to consider. Now, please note down the minute details. Is the selection committee required to confine itself to 5 names only? Is the selection committee required to restrict itself to only 5 names? Or it can consider some other name? Other name also, yes. Okay, these details are not given in your polity and governance M. Lakshmikant polity book that we usually refer, M. Lakshmikant. It does not cover these type of details. Let me give you an important tip of the day. See, Indian polity, M. Lakshmikant, it gives you the static portion. It gives you what the constitution says. It tells you about what the constitution says. Now our syllabus of Indian polity comprises of 2 parts. One is Indian constitution, second is Indian democracy at work. If you see the questions of last few years, prelims, option A is coming from static portion of polity. Option A in prelims question is coming from static portion of polity. Option B is coming from democracy at work, the dynamic section of Indian polity and governance syllabus. In the last few years, UPSC is more interested in covering the dynamic section, in asking you the questions from the dynamic sections, that is current affairs. But the problem is, merely reading current affairs also will not suffice our purpose. If you are only and only confining yourself to current affairs magazines, but not reading the text of Indian polity, text of Indian constitution from D.D. Basu or M. Lakshmikant or Subhash Kashyap, then also your job is not done. Why? You would not be thorough with the option A, let's say, which comes from static portion. Okay, option A coming from static portion also needs a thorough command. Then the job of current affairs comes. Okay, if you are only reading static portion and not reading current affairs to the sufficient extent, then also your chances of attempting the question in the right manner are very bleak, are very less. If you are having good command over static, fine. If you are having good command over current affairs, fine. Third step is to practice a lot so as to avoid the mistakes. Like I told you initially, in the previous clipping we saw Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, 5 lakh rupees per family, per family. You become detailed oriented only when you are practicing, guys. If you are not practicing, no matter howsoever books, how much soever books you have covered, if you are reading 10 newspapers every day, doesn't matter. Practice is something that makes you perfect, as we always say. Okay, so always prepare in this manner. Have your command over static portion. Some of you who are beginning for just beginning their UPSC preparation, you wonder, you ask a question, sir, first we should cover static portion and then start with current affairs, or can we directly jump into current affairs as well? Can we do both the things parallelly? Yes, you can do both the things parallelly also. Even as you are reading current affairs, go in a sequence based coverage of, chapter based coverage of M. Lakshmikant, or for that matter any subject. Follow the sequence, and if something interests you so much, you want to read more about Election Commission, after having come across this current affairs news of Election Commission, for example, then read the chapter on Election Commission of India, if polity is your favorite subject. Similarly, if in economics you come across rupee appreciation, depreciation, go on in a sequential manner covering monetary policy, fiscal policy, basics of national income, and if something enthuses you so much, then read about it. Because of the current affairs, if you are enthused to read more about rupee depreciation, appreciation, you can Google it out and read it, just to satiate or satisfy your curiosity. Got it? But do not disturb the sequential coverage of your chapters, the serial order coverage of your static portion at the cost of current affairs. This is the tip of the day for beginners and veterans also. For veterans, I have told you how to cover. If you are someone who is not able to crack prelims year after year, this is the mistake. Just introspect. Are you making this mistake? Are you not covering static in a manner that you are able to read the current affairs thoroughly? If you have good command over static, but you are somebody who's become lethargic, who's lost all the energy, that you do not have any enthusiasm left to read the current affairs, maybe this is the problem. Third thing is the veterans, the senior citizens of UPSC preparation that they are making is, you are not practicing, be it CSAT or be it general studies prelims. That's all. Let's come back to the paper. Okay, so this is there. Now, I've made this very interesting flowchart for you to go through, even though we want to make some more flowcharts, some more mind maps. Go through it. Introduction: bill presented in Rajya Sabha repeals Election Commission of India Act 1991. Which act has been replaced by this? 1991 Act has been replaced. Composition of Election Commission: Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioner 3. Okay. So we know about TN session, the history we must be knowing, some of you. Selection committee, chairperson of selection committee is going to be Prime Minister. Who are going to be the other members of selection committee? Leader of opposition, okay, Congress or whatever other political party. Then Union Cabinet Minister chosen by the Prime Minister. Okay, role of search committee. What is the search committee going to do? Search committee is going to prepare a panel of 5 names from which the selection committee would consider one name. But as I told you, selection committee can go beyond these 5 names and look for some other member also. Okay, led by cabinet secretary. Search committee will be led by, now it will be led by Minister of Law and Justice. Please make a correction. Minister of Law and Justice. Two election experience central government secretaries. Now 2 secretaries will be there. It will provide a list of 5 potential candidates. Okay. What else does this Election Commission Act, Chief Election Commissioner Act talks about? Qualifications, yes. Okay. Term of office, yes, 6 years. I ask you a question, sir. Quickly answer, quickly. Is Election Commission of India a constitutional body? Answer would be, you all know. My second poser is the Election Commission of India's expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India? I repeat, is the Election Commission of India's expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India? Please answer. Okay. Now, these things are there. Who can be the candidates? As per Section 5 of the Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioners Office, etc. Act, secretary level officers, okay, candidates for the post would be current or former secretary level officers. What post? Post of Chief Election Commissioner or Election Commission, okay. Now, search committee, section 6 states that a search committee headed by Minister of Law and Justice. It will be headed by Minister of Law and Justice, sir. Minister of Law and Justice, right? Minister of Law and Justice, and 2 other members not below the rank of Secretary to Government of India shall prepare the list of 5 names to be kept before selection committee. Selection committee can go beyond these 5 names again and again, right? Now, why the need for the new members, new mechanism? The act was brought about after the intervention of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said that how can the Government of India choose a just retired IAS officer? Okay, Arun Goyal of Punjab was chosen as the election commissioner, chief election commissioner, for appointment as the election commissioner right after his retirement. He had barely retired. He had hardly eaten the laddu of his retirement, and he was served with another laddu, other sweet. That of an appointment of that for his appointment of chief election commissioner. Okay, then the doubts were cast that a body which is meant for ensuring free and fair elections in the country, how can that body be manned by somebody who has all his life served as an IAS officer and who is just retired and has been gifted, or he's been awarded for his loyalty towards the government with the position of election commissioner as a post-retirement posting. So that is why the government had to pass this act. Now coming to the last section of our lecture, economy. GST rate cut uncertainty. I ask you a question, sir. Do you think that in our country, education should be taxed? GST on education should be 18%. Do you really think that? It should be 12%, no, 5% or zero rated education. But thanks to the privatization of education, GST on education is 18% because private companies are providing the education. Private colleges are mushrooming up in every nook and corner of the country, right? Okay, coming to this insurance. Why would a person buy insurance? Is it a luxury? Because somebody feels scared about his death, scared about his illness, living in a country, road accidents, living in a country where road accidents take around 1,50,000 people's lives every year. Insurance is not a luxury, sir. So should it be taxed at a rate at which we are taxing some of the luxury items? Even on air conditioners, the tax is 12%. Even on Apple mobile phones, the tax is 12%. Why 18% GST on insurance, which is a necessity in a country like India where life and death are in the hands of God? Completely in the hands of God. Completely in the hands of God, right? So why 18% GST? There was a demand raised by the sections of society, sections of economists, that GST on insurance should come down to 12%. On 21st of December 2024, a GST council meeting happened in which the decision was supposed to be taken, right? Yes, 1,50,000 deaths in road accidents. This is the data as per National Crime Records Bureau report. Okay, report which was brought about. Okay, so now coming back here, insurance cut. Why the government is not cutting the GST on insurance policies, GST charged on the insurance premium that the people pay? Because there are more number of private companies who are minting profits. If I am going for an insurance policy, apart from LIC, apart from the general motor insurance companies, GIC, national insurance, this sector is also dominated by the private sector. Okay, and the quality of quality of hospitals in India where the treatment is given is no less than that of hotels. You book a hotel room, 10,000 rupees, sir. You book a room in the hospital out of compulsion for your treatment, 10,000 rupees. That is why the government thinks it right that somebody who has got the money to pay for insurance premium is somebody who is rich. That is why government is charging 18%. Right? And for poor people, government has given Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana that we just saw. Government has come up with the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana where deprivation based criteria to cover all the poor sections is taken care of. So government is also right. Government is not wrong. But the problem is that of the middle class. Somebody who is not poor, somebody is not that rich. Right? So these things are there. Now the continuing suspense over the indirect tax levies on insurance policies, with GST Council deferring a call on expected tax cut at its December 21 meeting. So this was their 2024 meeting that happened. Tight liquidity conditions. Liquidity means cash in the hands of the people is less. That is why people are not buying insurance policies. Another reason is many people, they make investment for their year in the month of April. 1st April 2024, they would have gone for the insurance policy premium, or they would go for the insurance policy premium payment in the month of 31st March 2025. Okay, but here we are talking about new business. That means new policies being underwritten by the insurance companies. We are not talking about the old policies. In the month of January, people who are going to pay income tax, they usually buy the policy so as to save on tax payment. Right? Now, despite being in the month of December, people are not buying insurance policies as much as they bought in November, October, September for that matter. Why? Suspense means people think that I will buy an insurance policy once the GST is reduced. For example, if I am going to buy an insurance policy worth 10,000 rupees, I will have to pay 18%. That means this policy will be for 11,800 rupees. But if I buy this insurance policy after the GST is reduced to 12%, I will have to pay 10,000 plus 12%. My premium would come down by 600 rupees. Just to save this much, not 600 rupees, just waiting to save 6%, people are not buying insurance policies. So what is needed, sir? We came across a term, policy paralysis. Though that is a term of a higher magnitude, we need policy clarity over here. The sooner the policy clarity comes up, the better it would be for people and insurance companies to decide. Right? People would be able to decide sooner rather than later whether they want to buy a policy or not. People are waiting just for the government to decide first, GST Council to decide first. Now I ask you another quick question. Is GST a part of the budget? We are in the stage in the last month before the budget is presented on 1st of February. Is GST a part of the budget of Government of India? Please answer. Please answer these questions. This is where I'm asking tricky questions. Sometimes you might get stuck. Like a very simple question, is right to vote a constitutional right or a fundamental right? This question was asked by UPSC 2017-18, right? So these things are there. So GST rate cut uncertainty needs to be eliminated by the GST Council to decide fast. Acha, what did the government do? Government had taken a progressive step that GST on premiums paid by individuals other than senior citizens for health insurance with a coverage up to rupees 5 lakh is proposed to be exempted. Okay, for example, if I am buying insurance for my senior citizen mother, then and if the insurance coverage is up to 5 lakh rupees, this is exempted. Got it? Premiums paid by senior citizens towards health insurance cover had been proposed to be exempted from tax. So senior citizen, if they pay any insurance premium, no GST. Got it? But if I want to buy a policy up to rupees 5 lakh, same as the limit given in Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, for poor people, government is giving the premium. If somebody who is earning for himself or herself wants to buy an insurance policy up to 5 lakh rupees, the same limit as kept for Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana coverage, insurance premium is exempt. I mean, insurance premium paid is exempt from GST. Got it? Got it? So see the parity for poor people and parity for well-to-do, not rich. However, 18% GST will continue on premiums paid for policies with health insurance cover of over rupees 5 lakh. Over rupees 5 lakh, 18%. This is a good thing, no? If premium is above 5 lakh rupees, then 18%. If premium is up to 5 lakh rupees, no GST. If senior citizens are buying policy, no GST. Clear? This was the decision taken in December 2024. Net direct tax collection slowed down marginally to touch 15.88% in January. Direct tax collection has come down. When do we pay tax? When we are earning income. When is the tax collection going to be higher? When the income earned in the previous month was less than the income earned in the current month. If the overall income earned in India is more in December than in November, tax collection would be higher. But if the income generated is less, tax collection would be lower. So if the question comes in prelims that what do the dip or fall in the net direct collection in the net direct tax collection tell you? If the corporate companies are paying less tax than what they paid in November and in the previous months, that means that we are in the middle of some slowdown in the economic activity. These big corporate companies are required to pay advance tax to the government. Okay, so growth in India's net direct tax collection slowed marginally over the past month to touch 15.88% by January 12, from a 16.5% increase in December 17. All this data is not important. What I am telling you is, question, let's say this is the question, which of the following signifies a decrease in GDP? A, fall in index of industrial production, for example. B, fall in quarterly GDP data. C, fall in net direct tax collection. All three. Fall in the collection of net direct tax collection. Fall in the collection of GST collection data for the month. Got it? So this is how we can see. Corporate tax collection. Corporate tax collection means tax paid by the companies has come down. Tax paid on securities transaction tax. When we trade in stocks, we pay securities transaction tax. But because of the Donald Trump surrounded uncertainty, okay, because dollar was becoming stronger and Donald Trump was whether he would be elected or not, and because of the fall in the stock market overall, people, because of the correction, tapering in the stock market, people did not buy as many shares or people did not trade as much in the stock market as they did in the previous month. That is why STT receipts, securities transaction tax collections, have also come down. Okay, these small things, you are not supposed to bother yourself with so much of data. Clear? Now, regarding MCQs for the day, quickly have a look at these MCQs. Please answer all these MCQs, and again I would like to remind you that these questions, important tips for your preparation, MCQs, data, strategy videos, updates about this DNA, PDF for this DNA, everything is going to be shared on this particular Telegram channel. Okay, a channel created by PW team. I'm thankful to them in my name. The link of the Telegram channel has been given in the description box of this video, a lecture that you can Later on, subscribe to PDF, Word document, everything will be provided. Not only this, the current affairs beyond this lecture would also be shared. Okay, my approach here is to teach in a very basic manner, but the PDFs that we are going to share from today onwards or from tomorrow onwards, they are going to be quite insightful for those who want to prepare for mains level right away. That material will be there. Okay, here my approach is to explain everything, because for someone who's watching the video lecture, he wants more of an explanation. Okay, be it of maps, be it of geography, economy. How to connect with you in Telegram channel? Abhi, for now, I have a lot of work on my platter. Okay, let me first make 4-5 videos, lectures on things like how to make notes, etc. I'm sure all your how to strategize for next 5 months before prelims 2025. Okay, the 5 months ho gaya, then 2026 strategy, then book list for prelims and mains, segregated, etc. Resource list, how to use internet. Let me preempt myself for next 1 or 2 weeks. After I am done with these videos, I will be ready for your individual queries. Okay, you got the logic? Many of these video lectures in the coming days will take care of many of your queries, guys. So these things are there. Japan's location at the convergence of multiple tectonic plates makes it prone to seismic activity. Which of the plates are converging around Japan? I mean, this was the question. Crux of the question is this. Then third question, the Maha Kumbh Mela, particularly large and significant Kumbh. So where is it held and all? This question, third question. This was all in today's news analysis. It was a pleasure teaching you. Yeah, videos, many video sessions are in the offing, are in the pipeline. Once I am done with the course curation, the content curation in the PPTs, we'll come up with the series of videos, and we are going to start with something like Ask Me Anything session every Friday night or every Saturday night. That will be an open session to all of you, wherein we will be handling your queries, right? I'll share my experience of prelims, mains and interview with you. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.